Welcome back to Parent Squad. As we get back into the swing of things and it's another school year, there are some new laws that you should know about. And a lot of districts will be seeking money in referendums come November. So here to break all this down is Alex Appleton from Chalkbeat. Alex, thank you for being here because a lot of this policy can seem very convoluted at times, but we need to know what's going on with our kids and our children in their schools, right?
It's true.
Yeah. So we've mentioned this before, but now we're seeing it in effect. For the first time ever, school board candidates can choose a political party. School board candidates can choose a political party. So what are we seeing with this?
Yeah, this is a departure from all the years that we've had nonpartisan elections. And so some data that the School Boards Association pooled indicated that around half of all school board candidates who have filed statewide are choosing to run as Republicans or Democrats or label themselves independents, although the vast majority of those are choosing to run as Republicans.
Okay, so there is concern that these candidates having a party affiliation could have a big impact on school boards and in how these school boards operate. What are you thinking or hearing from both sides that the impact could be?
Yeah, there's some concern that this is going to take us back to that era of COVID school board meetings with all that political tension about things, and also that it'll inject some political tension into things that don't really have a political association, like hiring a superintendent or approving a school district's budget.
Yes, it's like you kind of don't want the politics to be involved, but as a parent, you also want to know where someone could sit politically because that could be how they govern, how they vote.
Right, that was the argument for this law, is that it would give voters more information.
Okay, we're also seeing a lot of districts seeking referendums this year. They're asking voters to increase the taxes that they pay. So why do you think we're seeing so many now?
Yeah, there are a few different new laws in effect here. The first one is property tax reform that really limited how much additional revenue districts can count on over the years. So a lot of them are asking for those property tax increases through referendums in order to sort of offset those losses that they're expecting. Another one is that they are going to have new requirements about when they can run school district referendums, and so some of them that were counting on doing it next year are no longer able to, so they're running it a little early.
Okay, I know things also public funding looks different after COVID too, so I'm sure that all plays a role into the equation of what's going on here when we talk about school funding. It looks like if these referendums are approved, then the money will have to go further than before. So what's the reason for that?
Yes, there's yet another new requirement that school districts are going to have to share more of this property tax revenue, this local funding, with charter schools in their area that enroll a certain number of their students. So that might mean that school districts have to ask for more because they have to spread it further.
Okay, we are seeing more and more charter schools pop up in our area, and so obviously they require funding too. We've discussed this before, but let's remind parents about the new cell phone ban in schools and how that is going to work. I think there's still a lot of questions surrounding this.
Yeah, I think the requirements are rolling out from school districts. If you're a parent, you may have seen them already from your district reminding you that your child has to put away their cell phone, their personal laptop, their watch even. All of that has to be put away, stored away, and inaccessible for the upcoming school year.
And the districts are coming up with their own policies that are within the law that has been determined. Is that what's happening?
Right. You may see some variation. Some districts may have pouches for students to store them in. Some districts may be saying just leave them at home. Some districts are saying they're okay on the bus, but not okay at lunchtime. But yeah, they have to follow the state law, which is pretty strict now in saying that students cannot be on them during the school day.
Okay, and I know, I mean, we have done so many reports on this phone ban bill or this electronic device ban bill, which is very, very interesting and a little bit confusing. If one district is doing something else, that another district, that your family member or that your aunt, they might be doing something over there. So certainly something for parents to check up on.
It can be really different district to district. Yeah.
Yes, check in with their district and kind of be abreast of what's going on with your own child's school. All right, and then more restrictions could be coming for kids and teens when it comes to social media. This is also another hot button issue that has brought a lot of questions for parents. This law is set to take effect in January, so there is still a little bit of time here. Where does this stand?
Right. Well, what we're looking at is potentially that anyone under 16 is going to need parental permission to make a social media account. It'll be on the social media operators to verify their ages, but for those accounts for 16 and under, they're going to have limited communication and limited algorithmic advertising, that sort of addictive feature that we talk about a lot. That law goes into effect January 1st, 2027. So there's still a little bit of time for a court challenge to potentially stop it going into effect. A lot of people expect that to happen because these laws have been challenged in other states.
Okay, but there is an opportunity, a chance that this could not go into law.
Right, exactly. If a court decides to stop it, it may not go into effect.
Okay, well, these are some of the top things that are impacting our children in our schools and outside of our schools, which I think is just good to know what's going on, what our leaders are deciding, so that you can also be involved as possible as a parent. Alex, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, these are important new laws. It's important for our people to be informed. We've got a link to Chalkbeat at WTHR.com/Parent Squad. Still ahead, we're talking dorm room decor with the City Moms, so don't miss that.